Hello everyone. So let's review what happened previous week and have a little glance in future events. So let's just start with main markets and what happened on last Wednesday. Well, on last Wednesday we had Fed interest rate hike. Well, it was expected and everything went more or less according with forecasts. That's both in regards to Fed, every other central bank, and every news what happened there. But still, nevertheless, we see that since Fed moved their interest hikes according to plan, stock markets fell gradually, and now for me it wasn't something miracle or something like that, because I also was expecting that, so I wouldn't bother to call this some sort of crisis, because people are somehow wired to call every correction or every slight move downwards as something bad. But this is not the case. Interest rates are rising and some mediocre correction is expected, but now it doesn't say anything to us. But here's the thing about currencies. Excuse me. Currencies are not going to that same pattern, because United States dollar is weaker across the board and interest rate hikes hasn't made any meaningful impact to that. Why it is so? Well, mostly I think this is due to the fact that interest rates are raised across the central banks, so Fed is not the only one who is playing that game, and here the waters are a bit more blurrier, because, well, thing is that if commodities have supply and demand characteristics and stocks are representing fair value of company, or at least on paper they should do that, currencies is more about perception, how markets perceive certain news, and that plays significantly more here than anywhere else. So you cannot take any news as black and white. Well, in fact, you cannot make any news as black and white in any market, but this is more pronounced in currencies, and this is clear example. Although I wouldn't necessarily call this a large move, but still, markets are not particularly reacting to any kind of Fed rate hikes. That's the fact. And what about speculators' favorite market, Bitcoin? Excuse me about this one. Well, here the pattern is rather obvious. See, since FTX debacle, it has been steadily flat. Yes, of course there was some slight rise due to those rate hikes, but still markets reacted to usual pattern and prices reverted to pre-announcement levels. So nothing to see here, absolutely nothing. Even the fact that FTX founder, former owner was arrested, it doesn't have anything to do with those news. Of course it wouldn't, because he has no power anymore, and these are merely events which occurred after the main fact. But still, what will happen with Binance, I don't know. Maybe this will give something new to crypto markets, but you cannot tell until it happens. But so today we only have that long-term flat markets with absolutely no volatility. Curious how day traders actually trade this market now. Anyways, let's move further. Those dumb ads, excuse me, I hate them. Absolutely hate them. But nevertheless, let's go to Brent now. For a change, this week I will look at Brent markets, and here's the thing also. Yes, as I told you in previous weeks, markets didn't react to any kind of Russian sanction fact and actually went downwards, so it was classical buy rumor, sell the fact event. And yes, it reached its downward peak at the beginning of previous week and more or less are at the same levels, which is pretty interesting, because this is really low. I think petrol prices, not only oil prices, are at pre-war levels. Yes, they are standing here nice and easy, and let's see whether it will stay at these levels. Tough to say whether it will go anywhere from here, but from political viewpoint this is good, because even oil price cap or no oil price cap, Russia has difficulty to capitalize on any kind of energy crisis with these oil prices, that's for sure. So that's that about previous week. My long-term thesis stands still. If something is expected by everyone, that means these are no news, and if you follow this simple advice, you will be much better off than to try to figure out something. And here the pattern is the same, although we don't have any much interesting happening in pre-Christmas week. What I could say, if nothing interesting will happen, markets will prevail and more or less move in the same trends, but only disruption to that would be something unknown, maybe something with Binance, maybe some sort of scandal involving something that we don't know. I don't know, but here there is nothing new. Just follow the trends, move along and go with the flow, because anything remotely interesting won't be happening now, and probably in next couple of weeks I wouldn't be giving you any type of market news, because I seriously believe we are running out of news. I actually don't like yes, there will be bank holidays and there will be no interesting news in following weeks, so then we will talk about trading psychology and psychological biases about trading. So this was the last financial weekly reviews of this week, and actually I will think whether I will be making these kinds of weekly reviews, because I honestly do them more to illustrate what's happening, but they are not very useful for trading. If you are trading, you are better off with only limited information. And actually this is a good idea, I thought it just right now. Maybe I will just give you a quick guide how to read market reactions and news purely as a trader correctly, because of course if you want to follow financial markets and understand what's happening, this sort of thing is rather useful if you are away from this. But if you are trading or investing, that's completely different story, because if you are over analyzing and overly seriously following news, you might actually do yourself harm, because you don't have to try to figure out markets to make money, because you cannot figure out the markets. This is like, you cannot figure out, I don't know, you cannot figure out life, because this is abstract term, and this is same about markets. They are not that logical as we might seem, and we don't have to do that, because that trading and investing is completely differently from trying to make sense out of that. And yes, maybe I will just give you those basis points and those frameworks how to work on that. That's an interesting thought. I probably will do that and give bit different schedule for later year. So thanks for watching this final week of this year for financial reviews, and stay tuned for better content, more educational, more interesting content about everything that's happening in the markets. So in this week I will give you a couple of videos about investing and forex markets, so stay tuned and make sure you're following me. Bye.